This shawl is the result of 5 months of hard work. If you've been following me on my other socials, you know that I have been on a journey trying to crochet my dream shawl inspired by this picture, and through trial and error, I finally got a version that I'm super happy with, and today I'm going to show you exactly how to make it. Now, the 3 things I love most about this project is number 1, you can wear this so many different ways. It's really versatile. You can create all different kinds of necklines by simply adjusting it. Number 2, it is super easy to make, like ridiculously easy. If you can crochet a rectangle and a triangle, you're all set. And number 3 is that it is a made to measure pattern, so this tutorial is size inclusive as well. And with that, let's get started. First, we need to talk materials. For this project, you can use any kind or weight of yarn. For the original white version that I've been showing you, I did use mohair yarn, and because it was thin and fuzzy, it helped create this really flowy, transparent effect that I love. However, I don't recommend mohair for everyone because it can be very delicate and difficult to work with. While I used mohair in the original version, you absolutely do not have to, but it does come with its pros and cons, so it's just something to keep in mind when choosing your yarn. For this tutorial, I'm using a worsted weight 100% merino wool yarn from Arcane Fiberworks. You'll also need a crochet hook, and to help get that flowy effect, I sized up 2 sizes from the recommended hook on the yarn label. You can even size up even more if you'd like. You'll also need stitch markers, scissors, a measuring tape, and a tapestry needle for weaving in ends. Now that we've gone over materials, we need to do one more thing before we start crocheting, which is to take a chest measurement. So this will be the length of your front panel. How big or small it is totally up to you and your preference. And once you have a measurement you're happy with, you'll just want to write it down. For me, that ended up being 1 foot. Okay, now it's time to start crocheting. Grab your yarn. Again, I'm using a merino wool yarn from Arcane Fiberworks, and the colorway is Down to Earth if you're curious. So you'll take your yarn, create a slip knot, place it on your hook, and we're going to create a chain equal to the chest measurement that we just took. While you're creating your chain, make sure to keep the tension light. We don't want the stitches to be really tight because we want the piece to be flowy. Pause the video, complete that, and then meet me back for the next step. So once your chain is equal to your measurement, we're then going to add a double crochet in the 3rd chain from your hook. So skip 2 stitches, and in the 3rd stitch, you'll yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And that is your first double crochet completed. I recommend adding a stitch marker to your first and last stitch on every row. This is going to help keep your panel very straight. So just continue to add double crochets all the way down until you reach the end of your row. Alternatively, if you wanted to do single crochets, half double crochets, you could do that as well. But for this project, I am using double crochets. So just finish that up, adding 1 double crochet in each stitch, and then meet me back for the next step. And here is my completed row. To start the next row, you'll chain 2, turn your work, and in that first stitch, you'll add a double crochet. And just like the last row, you're going to add 1 double crochet in each stitch until you reach the end of the row. And you're just going to keep repeating rows and rows of double crochet until you get a very long rectangular panel. So your next question might be, how long should I make my panel? Now, at a minimum, it should be 3 times your shoulder to shoulder measurement, because if you think about it, the panel is going to go across the chest and then down the back. So this will give you your minimum shortest length. Once you hit that length, I recommend trying it on periodically to see if you like the length. If it's too short, then keep adding rows. If you like it just the way it is, then that's when it's time to stop. So let me show you the best way to try it on. Take your panel and then fold it in half. Then you'll grab a stitch marker, and about 1 foot from the fold, you'll insert your stitch marker to connect the 2 sides. And by doing so, you'll create this space for your head to fit through. And then you're just going to slip it over your head and spread it out. Now, if your head doesn't fit through that hole, then just move the stitch marker down to give you more space. And that's how you try it on. So this is going to give you a good sense of what your shawl will look like when it's complete. So if you try it on and it looks too short, then just keep adding rows until you reach your preferred length. For me, it was about 8 feet, as you can see here. And then once you're happy with it, you can cut your working yarn and fasten off. So pause the video, finish up your panel, and meet me back for the next step. Now it's time to work on the triangle section, and to do that, you'll first need to place your folded rectangle panel on the ground or on a table. Make sure the stitch marker connecting the two sides is still in place. Then take one end in each hand and you're just going to lay it out flat so that the same side is facing up. And you're just going to want to adjust it so that it lays flat. Now we're going to create a panel to fill in this triangle section here, but first you'll have to decide how big or small you want to make the triangle because this will affect how much volume your shawl has. So the bigger the triangle, the more volume you'll have, and it'll also create a little more of a ruching effect in the back. So just decide on what size you want by adjusting the rectangular panels to get kind of an idea. And once you decide on a size, you'll then create a chain equal to the length of that triangle base. Again, make sure your tension is nice and light. Pause the video, complete that, and then meet me back for the next step. Once you're done, just double check that the chain is long enough to fit between the two panels. The two ends of the chain should be just touching the rectangular panel. I also left a very long tail on my chain because I'll be using that later to sew the two rectangle and triangle panels together, but that's totally optional. The tail is 2 times the length of the two triangle legs. And from here, we're basically going to alternate between rows of regular crochet and a row of decreases on each end of the row. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay, now that you have your chain, we'll add 2 more chains for your turning stitch. And then in the third stitch from your hook, you'll add your first double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. And that's your first double crochet. Then add 1 double crochet in each stitch until you reach the end of the row. Pause the video, complete that, and then meet me back for the next step. Your next row will have a decrease on each end. So to start the next row, chain 2, turn your work, and we're going to do a decrease in the first 2 stitches. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Then with those 3 loops still on your hook, you'll insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. You should have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2, and that is your first decrease. And as always, I recommend adding a stitch marker to your first and last stitch of each row. This will help keep your panel nice and even. Now you'll just add 1 double crochet into each stitch until you have 2 stitches left in your row. When you have those 2 stitches left, we'll finish the row with a decrease. So pause the video, complete those stitches, and meet me back for the next decrease. Now that you have 2 stitches left, we'll do a decrease just like we did at the beginning of the row. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. You should have 3 loops on your hook. You'll insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2, and that is the last decrease of your row. Now your next row will just be rows of regular crochet. So to start, chain 2, turn your work, and in each stitch you'll just add 1 double crochet, no decreases. So you'll yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, that's your first double crochet, and continue adding 1 double crochet in each stitch until you reach the end of the row. Pause the video, complete that, and then meet me back for the next step. So I'm at the end of the row, I'm doing my last double crochet, and to start the next row, which will be a decrease row, I'll chain 2, turn my work, and in the first 2 stitches I'll do a decrease. So I'm yarning over, then insert your hook into that first stitch, yarn over, pull through. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. You should have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's the first decrease of your row. Again, you'll just add 1 double crochet in each stitch until you have 2 stitches left. From there, you'll do your final decrease of that row. So go ahead, complete those steps, and then meet me back for the next decrease. Okay, so we're at the end of the row, 2 stitches left. We'll do our final decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3, and yarn over, pull through 2, and that is your final decrease of the row. So as you can see, we've been alternating between a row of regular crochet, a decrease row, regular crochet, decrease row. So you're just going to continue to alternate between these 2 types of rows until you fill up your triangle panel. As you continue working these alternating rows, make sure to pause and check that your triangle panel still fits neatly in between the 2 rectangle panels. I wasn't checking mine, I was locked in, and I noticed a little too late that the panel was actually getting too wide. So I had to undo a few rows and switch to only decrease rows. So at this point, I stopped alternating. And depending on the size of your triangle, you may also need to switch to decrease rows only. This means you'll do a decrease stitch at the end of every row instead of alternating with the regular double crochet rows that we've been doing at this point. Now, as you near the top, you might notice that your triangle isn't shrinking fast enough. If that happens, like it did for me, you'll just need to start adding 2 or even 3 decreases at the end of each row instead of just 1. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like. So at this point, I need to add 2 decreases to the end of each of my rows. So I'm yarning over, inserting my hook, yarn over, pull through, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2. That's your first decrease. In the next 2 stitches, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2. So that is your second decrease of the row. And then you'll just continue adding 1 double crochet in each stitch until you have 4 stitches left in your row. From there, you'll do 2 decreases. So pause the video, complete your panel, and just keep in mind that while you're doing your rows, you may need to increase the amount of decreases you have on the end of each row. So again, pause the video, complete that panel, and then meet me back when you're at the very top of your triangle. You'll eventually reach the very top where you only have a few stitches remaining, typically around 3 or 4 stitches. Our goal here is to bring the triangle to a crisp point by doing 1 final decrease. Right now, I have 3 stitches left. You might have a slightly different number, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, which is perfectly fine. But if you have 5 or more stitches remaining, I recommend you keep working your established decrease rows until you get down to 4 stitches or fewer. So if you have 2, 3, or 4 stitches remaining, we'll do 1 final decrease to close up the tip of the triangle. So let me show you how to do that. Yarn over, insert your hook. Yarn over, pull through. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, you have 4 loops. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, you should have 5. And then you're just going to yarn over and pull through all 5 loops, or however many you have. And that is how you do the final decrease. With our triangle panel now complete, we can move on to the final step, which is sewing everything together. Before we get started, I recommend adding stitch markers all along the edge. This helps keep everything aligned while you sew. Take your tapestry needle and thread either the tail of your panel or a long piece of yarn through, and then you're just gonna go ahead and sew the panels together. When you reach the very tip of the triangle, it's important that your needle catches all 3 edges to secure the top firmly. So you want to make sure that you join the 2 rectangle edges and then the central triangle point. So I've just joined the triangle panel to the right side of the rectangle panel, and now I'm joining it to the left rectangle panel. This is optional, but I'm now going just above the triangle tip and sewing one stitch to further connect the two rectangular panels together. This is to help create a sharp V in the back. Then you'll simply sew all the way back down the remaining side, and once that's done, weave in all your loose ends, and just like that, you're all finished. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed making this project with me. I would absolutely love to see your final project, so please feel free to tag me on all of my socials. I look and comment on every single post, so I would be really, really excited to see your final project. And make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any other free tutorials. Thanks again. Happy crocheting. Bye.